So what's going on?
Check. Hey, you got to wait till I say check.
Sorry.
Yeah. Check.
It's so loud.
Morning, boys.
Morning.
We can't say morning yet. It's just the pre-show.
Man.
Yeah, you guys have no energy this morning in this.
Well, we've been talking
Hey?
for an hour
I've
over
been
breakfast.
sick for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm back and I've got more energy.
You are looking a little extra bubbly
Yeah.
today. You got a
Yeah.
little twinkle in your eye.
Yeah.
The hair is still disheveled.
He needs a haircut.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you passed around that picture a few weeks back,
Which picture?
well, it was a picture of you in some other coffee place, and you had like short hair.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah. Remember that?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember that either.
But he looked better.
Oh, way better.
Way better than.
Yeah, you look like crap.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, guys.
We love you.
God, you've
But-
even got thumbprints on your glasses.
Really?
Yeah.
I just cleaned them this morning
can
before
see them
coming.
from
You're
this
falling
angle.
apart.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I haven't quite recovered. You guys
I got
got anything?
lots. I got lots.
Yeah, you got lots?
I got
Yeah.
lots, and we have our special guest coming
We
on.
do have a guest today.
I don't even know if I can get through all this. I don't think
I've got
can.
a couple things too.
Did you guys see Trudeau's
Whoa, well, let's not get into it.
Trudeau's outfit?
Whoa.
I didn't get that.
First on
reference.
my list is Trudeau's outfit when he was interviewed about the one-year
He
protest.
didn't look like.
Did you see it?
Well, you tweeted it.
Oh, you saw that tweet. Okay,
Yeah.
what'd you think?
I was like, looks normal.
Anyway, so this is just the precast, so looks normal for him.
All right, maybe
Snow
we should,
days.
maybe we
go.
should get
I
started.
should
got
go.
snow days.
Snow
Always-
days?
Were we always so soft as a society?
We got security, car security.
I got a pick of the week, and I've got the Sens. Are they this good, or are the Leafs this
Jeez,
bad?
we're gonna have time for the guest.
And I've got last point. This is what I mean. We're
We're
not
not
going
going to talk
it.
about any of that.
My last point is the U.S. Customs weren't open at Pearson one morning, and people were losing their minds.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Should we go?
So we got lots.
Okay,
Let's go.
let's go. Warning: this podcast will be an injurious waste of your time. Warning: this podcast will be an injurious waste of your time.
Yeah, good morning. I'll take a medium with 2 sugar and a medium regular, please.
Morning, boys.
Duff, how are you?
Duff, DDT. Morning,
JB,
boys.
how are you?
I'm great.
How's it going?
I'm
Back at her after 2 weeks of being away.
I'm moderately content to be back.
Yeah, back at Scotty's Corner Diner
Bell's
in
Corners.
Bell's Corners, Ottawa, Canada.
Delicious breakfast.
Delicious.
It was a good breakfast today. It
Was. Yeah. I like their coffee though, right?
The onions on the
good-
potatoes were as they should be.
Good coffee.
Uncooked.
Yeah.
I prefer them more cooked, more sautéed.
Do you?
Sautéed in the bacon
Good
fat.
coffee.
That's good coffee. Adequate.
So, what have I missed in the last 2 weeks?
Good God. So you've been off with COVID, sick.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the little test thingy came up positive, but then it got positive
Isn't
on
it
my wife
amazing
too,
how
and
it-
she wasn't sick. So I
How
don't
it
know.
impacts people differently, eh? When I had COVID last summer, I only tested because my buddy Pierre had COVID, and we shared a truck for a 12-hour trip. 2 of us had COVID and 2 didn't. I tested positive. I had a runny nose for a day.
Yeah.
You
knows?
test positive, and you're on your back for 2 weeks.
Well, I've tested a whole bunch of times, as you know,
Yeah.
and I've had like every person in my house have had it.
But
and
you do
I've
know
never had
a
it.
pregnancy test does not work for COVID.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I
have
thought-
to actually have the right test.
I'm not supposed to pee on that strip.
No. But you,
Oh, that's why-
fortunately, you weren't pregnant either.
that's
I
why
guess.
it's
No,
not
no.
working.
How many months are you?
I don't know.
Did you miss something?
It depends what I ate the night
How
before.
far along? How far along?
Trimester.
It
First
depends what
trimester?
I ate the night before.
Did you miss your?
If I had a lot of pizza and salt, I'm I'm
You
probably
commented
like
on
6
your
months.
saltiness. Was that here the morning we had breakfast?
Yeah.
From the night before, you had too much salt.
Yeah.
And you had a breakfast here. Good God.
Yeah, I was
You
dying.
must have looked like the Michelin Man
I was
after all
bloated.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the problem when you're so fit. So DDT, this is
Yeah.
one advantage to you never doing anything.
Yes.
Is that you don't ever have to worry about feeling salty.
In any physical exercise, you mean? Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
JP is like a fine-tuned Ferrari.
BJ.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah.
And one little binge meal can really set him off.
Yeah, he gets on that bike.
You probably work out more than I do.
Nah, I probably have more fun doing activities
Maybe.
overall, but I do not work out as much as you, I don't think.
I enjoy my activities.
It
I do
makes
not
you
work
happy.
out at all.
His key line to you when you were teasing him was, "It makes me happy."
It
Yes,
does.
that's true.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
make me happy.
I was quick not
If it
to
makes
tease after
you
that.
Happy.
So
Yeah.
should we talk about the elephant in the room?
No.
No, I got 5 things on my list.
Yeah, let's get to them.
We're not talking about your crap. We can
None
talk
of
about
them?
your crap with the guest.
No.
We could bring it in peace, but don't you want to pick one of them?
No.
Yeah.
No?
Don't you need to apologize for something? Maybe you can apologize for how we start this show.
Yeah. So I apologize to the good listener to how we started the show today. Very underwhelming. It's like you guys, after
don't
2
know.
weeks, you think you'd be excited to get back.
I think we're
To the
pacing
cast.
it. I think we're
Oh,
pacing it
pacing?
and bringing it
Okay.
up.
All right.
Do you guys ever
And
have dinner with other people? Well, not you, I guess, but JB, when you're out eating with other people, does the topic of the podcast ever come up and then all of a sudden everyone's shocked?
No.
Oh, okay.
You?
It did. It happened to me on Friday.
Yeah.
Little after work gathering, and one of our listeners brought it up. And then everybody's, "You have a podcast? You have a podcast?"
You felt like a celebrity?
I'm like, "Of course I have a podcast. Who doesn't have a podcast?"
Well, I'm going to apologize to them for that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for this
All right.
injurious waste of time. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
How is your brother doing anyways?
My brother's doing well, I think.
Yeah.
Out in Calgary.
You think?
Yeah, he doesn't contact us much anymore.
Well,
I don't know why that is.
he doesn't want to waste
Maybe I
his
did.
time injuriously anymore.
Although I did text him yesterday saying the Leafs suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after they got
Well, there
killed
we
by
go.
Ottawa.
That's on my
6-2.
list. Did you
Yeah.
catch the game?
He did say that we should not talk about hockey. It's embarrassing. That's what my brother said. That's his feedback.
The general topic is embarrassing, or just the Leafs?
Or us talking about hockey
Us
is
talking
embarrassing.
about hockey.
Us
is
trying to
embarrassing.
act knowledgeable.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're just fans.
We're fans. Yeah.
We're not like Leaf fans who
Yeah.
claim to be intelligent about
And then he's also a Cowboys fan, and they also lost, right?
Yeah.
That was terrible. He's 0 for 2.
0 for 2
Yeah.
this week.
So I guess he's doing all right. He didn't seem too happy.
Okay.
Texted me back yesterday.
Yeah. And he's just hanging out in Calgary, I think,
Hanging
for a
out
year.
in Calgary.
Taking a year
Yeah,
a
should be
sabbatical.
back. Sabbatical should be back maybe in April.
Mm.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So what did you have there? We are digressing quickly.
Well, I thought before we bring on our guest,
Yeah.
No,
Just-
we'll get lost. We should bring the guest on, and then we
Well,
can talk about these things.
but aren't you
no,
inspired?
let's,
Our
we
guest-
should talk about.
aren't you
first.
inspired by this wardrobe on DDT?
He
It-
looks.
it,
wrong with my
makes me
wardrobe?
think a lot of my first point.
It's
Which
it's
is-
the disheveled look.
And the sweater.
What's wrong with my
you
sweater?
put a dollar store suit jacket on top of that, and you could call him the prime
I
minister.
look at like $1 million.
It's just a quick point, JP, and I already brought it up. So, what'd you think of your
I didn't see it.
prime minister's
I didn't see
outfit?
He looked just casual. I don't understand.
Don't be disingenuous.
I didn't understand.
You
what
didn't
were-
see it. You didn't even see the
No,
tweet. You
I
don't
didn't.
follow us.
I don't look at everything.
Oh.
Doesn't follow Cop Car Coffee on Twitter.
Does he
At Cop
need
Car
to
Coffee?
wear like something fancy all the time?
Well, the topic was.
He's a human being.
It was just a real quick one here. I'm already bored of it, actually.
There you
The
go.
way you're dragging it on. They interviewed our prime minister, the Honorable
Who
Justin
interviewed him?
Trudeau, to just get his feedback on the crazy protests from 1 year ago. And that's wasn't even the point of my tweet. He went on, and I'm like, I think my tweet was something to the effect of, why are we still going on about a farmer and
Yeah.
trucker protest from a year ago when we have more pressing concerns? And then I showed the photo
Yeah.
of a disheveled Trudeau, not
Yeah.
unlike our own DDT,
Yeah.
with a plain sweater
Yeah.
with a jacket over top. It did not look right. It looked like he came back from an NDP Champagne Socialist Convention.
I usually like the tweets that you put out for Cop Car Coffee.
You didn't like that one.
I didn't like that one. No,
Because it hit home the wardrobe selection,
well,
right?
maybe that was it.
Okay.
There was something there I didn't like.
Well,
about
no
it.
comment from
Yeah.
JB on that one then.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like talking politics.
Yeah, but this is fashion. This
Oh, it's
isn't
fashion.
politics.
Right.
I even put hashtag
Whoa.
bad fashion.
Like
Ooh.
I said, I don't.
Getting
I
the
mean,
hashtags in
other
there.
than DDT,
Yeah.
who's my favorite target. I wouldn't pick up anybody else's clothes.
No,
I don't know.
okay.
What your choices are your choices.
Well, I don't know. Like,
I
I mean,
just thought-
he is the prime minister.
And he should have had either a button-up shirt or
Yeah.
a tie on.
yeah.
All right.
I was surprised he wasn't wearing an F Trudeau shirt. What?
Yeah.
What are you signaling?
JB's falling asleep. We'll
Yeah,
let
he's
him
falling
introduce
asleep.
our guest,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Jesus.
My work here is done.
Yeah,
Well, no,
Duff's done for the rest of the show.
So let's ask
Way to
our
go, JB.
let's ask our guest
Or is that BJ?
what he thinks of Trudeau's outfit.
He probably didn't even see it. He doesn't follow Cop Car Coffee.
I think
Probably.
we should introduce our guest before we
okay.
start
Yeah.
making them
Yeah.
answer questions.
JB. Oh, coffee. Yeah, I'll take some more. Thank you.
So today we have Ottawa celebrity and musical guest Dan Petti, Petti, just to clarify.
Yeah. Welcome, Dan. Welcome.
Yes. Hey,
Thanks for coming in.
thanks for having me. Great
Yeah.
to see you guys.
No worries.
Excited for this.
Yeah, because we're having you on because you put out a new single, which we played in the fall, I believe it was. Was it not?
Yep,
Yeah.
Sunday best.
Sunday
Yeah.
Best.
Thank you very
What a-
much for the support.
What a great tune that was.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a country fan myself. Duff is a country fan.
What was that?
You're a country
Well,
fan?
Yeah.
Quit sucking up to
oh, that was
Dan.
a
I'm not
scoff.
sucking up to Dan.
You're not a country fan.
You
I
are
thought
not
he
a country
was
fan.
choking on pancakes and
That
peanut
was
butter.
me
this guy.
almost puking with that comment.
Yeah, I'm a
wow.
country fan.
You are
Didn't
not.
I pick out the song on the radio the other day was John Party or Luke Combs?
Yeah.
Well,
It was Luke
it's gotta be
Combs.
one of those two.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to ruin the flow there.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You support country
I support
music
country
somewhat.
So
music.
yeah, so you
JB's not a big country fan.
you put up with country music. Duff is
That's
a
good.
country music connoisseur,
Aficionado.
and
aficionado.
I have out of my playlist of 1,000 songs, I have probably like 5 country songs.
One of them's being Dan.
One
Dan's.
of them is
Yeah,
Dan's
yeah,
song, which
yeah.
is called "Going Nowhere," which
Yeah.
I think we should close the show off with.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Dan, make sure you get me that file.
But we should
I'll
let
send it.
Dan clarify. I sense Dan's anxiousness
So-
being labeled a pure country artist.
So first-
He's got a diverse background, eh?
He's got an evolution and a
Yeah.
diverse background. So Dan, yeah.
I do have an old cowboy hat I got from the Calgary Stampede. It's collecting dust in my closet. And I used to crack it out a lot more back in the day. But I feel like, that doesn't really fit my exact brand.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed how much it pissed off most of the people I knew when I wore it more than actually wearing it myself. So,
Cool.
so that's staying in the closet. And I wouldn't say pure country, but I'd say anything within that range, anything from a banjo to a fiddle to an acoustic guitar in some way, I could fit into that category, I guess. So.
Yeah, did you? Now we asked about this earlier, but we'll bring it up again. You didn't start off as country. You started out as heavy metal.
Yeah,
Is that
no,
correct?
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I only really started listening to country as I got later in the teens, but I pretty much was a metalhead for most
Yeah.
of my life.
Love it.
I love the heavy stuff, and
Yeah.
that was my first.
What was your
band.
favorite band?
Like Metallica was my
Yeah.
first true love, I
Yeah.
guess, in a way. I saw them when I was in like grade 9, and
Yeah.
the rest was history. But
Megadeth.
yeah, a little bit of Megadeth, and then. I'm not really sure from there.
Slayer?
It got a bit heavier after
Right.
that. Yeah, like Lamb,
Poison.
Lamb of God,
Lamb of
and,
God.
and
Oh,
stuff like
nice.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
So
what was your first instrument that you played?
my first instrument was piano for about 10 years, and then I picked up guitar when I was 12.
Nice.
But that's definitely my main instrument now is guitar for sure.
So how
yeah.
long did you
Yep.
practice to get good at guitar? I want to know because I play a little bit of guitar, but I suck.
more
and,
than you.
And I don't practice.
Yeah, it's I always like when I talk about it, it's a lot like a sport. It's a very physical instrument, so you
Yeah.
have to like treat it like the way like Sidney Crosby would have worked on his wrist shot or something like
Right,
that. Like you
right.
like it's literally like repetition upon repetition.
Right.
And a lot of people like it sounds bad for like a year and they say, well, the point of playing music is to enjoy it. I don't enjoy this, and then they give up.
Yeah.
But like you get over that hump as soon as you do that, then like you finally can do anything you want and it feels great.
Okay, yeah.
So it was definitely like the first couple of years took a long time, but I already played piano, so I already kind of had that natural feel for it.
I haven't gotten
yeah.
over that hump for 40 years.
So you actually can read music then as a piano player. Yeah,
I can read music, and for
can read
guitar, you
music.
don't need to be able to as much, but,
No.
but it helps if you can. And, like I went to university for jazz guitar, so like
Whoa, really? Wow.
So like I had to get into that. For that audition, I had to be able to do all those things, but yeah, no, it's good. The guitar, piano, I'm a bit rusty now, but really guitar is what I'm all about.
I actually can read music. But like I said, I
Like
haven't gotten over
like
that
the
guitar
lyrics
hump
on the
in
back of a
40
CD or
years.
something.
No, that's not music.
That's lyrics.
Okay.
Like actual
You're
notes.
talking
and
like
the notes.
treble clefs.
treble clefs.
Yeah, so you can
4/4 time,
you can
3/4
You
time.
can read the notes.
There you go. So
16th
you're halfway
notes.
there. Just got to get the hands going now.
Oh my God! Like I said, for 40 years I've been trying to get the hands going, and it's never.
Maybe the
Never
dad
been successful.
maybe the dad bods could be the opening act someday for
Dan.
Petty
Yeah,
music.
that's great.
When
Yeah.
Dan
Dan
makes it
could
big.
be your singer.
Dan,
No.
well, that he'd replace me because I've been relegated to singing because I can't play guitar,
That was my point.
but then I can't sing either. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got a band called the Dad Bods. It's all
That sounds intriguing.
middle-aged guys.
It's a great name, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
It is a great name.
Yeah. So well, that's
So
interesting.
I found your stuff on Spotify, but where else can our good listeners find you?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and YouTube. All my music videos are on YouTube. So pretty much anywhere you stream. I don't
On
have anything
YouTube.
physical right now, but the EP I'm working on, I think I've decided I'm going to do something physical for that. Probably a CD. Even though people don't really have CD players anymore, I still feel like it's a good thing to have as a physical copy. You know, you
It
can
is,
sell it at
actually.
shows. People like to see the album kind
Yeah.
of artwork. So
Yeah.
like, even if people don't actually listen to the CD, they buy it and then they still stream me. It's still kind of nice to have a physical copy of an album. I feel
Absolutely.
like I'm kind of old school in some ways.
I
like
really
that.
miss that. Like I have boxes of like vinyl in the basement with like a bunch of CDs. I even have
Yeah.
a bunch of cassettes still.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
And I miss that, right? Like you buy something, you open it up, you look
I
at the
know.
liner, you
Yep.
read the lyrics,
I agree.
Or
which
the
is
music.
which is what DDT called music.
not to take away from this riveting discussion, but you guys have to check out the playlist on Netflix, the Spotify story. It is all about what we're talking about right now.
Really?
Oh, that sounds
Yes,
interesting.
the music industry and the battle between streaming and illegal pirating and all that stuff, and how it evolved to what we have today.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Napster. Is Napster?
Well, apparently it all started in Sweden.
MySpace.
It all started in Sweden, and they had something called Pirates. Oh God, Pirate something, but it was like Napster and Kazaa and all these.
So where's the playlist playing? That's a weird question, but
You just said on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
We're
it's
paying
really
more
cool. And
attention.
I was actually thinking of Dan when I was watching this, because right now, a new artist, is it still the same like it was in the past, where your goal is to be signed by a music company, rather than just doing all your own thing on Spotify and getting paid directly? You know?
I would say that more artists now are accepting the fact that it's not about labels anymore.
Okay.
They're like because the major labels own your master copies
Right.
and they control a lot.
Yeah.
And people that you hear on the radio, especially Canadian artists that you hear on the radio all the time, they're not necessarily actually making that much money, making a living in
Yeah.
that way. The second they stop touring, they're probably not going to make any more money anymore. And so
Because
like, you
they're
give-
not signed by a major.
Oh no, because they are.
They are.
But like
Okay.
you're giving away a lot of the control. And like if the label doesn't recoup money from you
Yeah.
off sales,
They
then
don't
no one's
push
making
it.
money anymore.
Yeah.
So then if they don't recoup, you're basically like a slave to them.
Right.
In a
So
way,
you
until they
paid,
recoup.
like you've paid for all your own studio time,
Exactly.
so you own those
Yeah.
songs. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I own it all as an indie artist, and like I'll never be able to like fund major tours and major things, but I'll also never be in debt to anybody.
Yeah.
So like that's like they kind of have that carrot and stick where they're like, we'll sign you, we'll send you all over the world. You might get famous off it, which could then produce money in the future.
Yeah.
But if you don't, now like you basically have made nothing because you owe the label.
And whatever rotation you get on music, they essentially own all that.
Yeah, and it depends on the contracts. Maybe some labels are different. And now there's like indie labels coming out. Like technically I have my own label. It's called Danimal Records. And it's kind of like you have to have your own indie label in order to like kind of have your own control over it. So it's not like I could sign other artists if I want, but it's not really to like make money. It's more just to have like my own like body that owns my own stuff. So it's
Yeah.
I still think it's good to do that, but yeah, the major label stuff, like a lot of people are going away from that. And like if you have like the potential, like you're fully going for it, like maybe still go for it. Depends on the genre too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like indie is the way to go for now, and I can kind of just do it for fun and make a couple of cents here and there.
Yeah.
And just have control over it and just have it as part of my life. It's kind of like a second job, serious hobby.
Yeah.
And that's how I treat it. But like it's not going to pay the bills for sure.
So what's the music scene in Ottawa like? Because I was looking at your website and I saw that you spent some time in Nashville, you spent some time in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Isn't that Nashville in Tennessee?
Well, there's
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, but they're. Oh, I see. So
It's like saying you spent some time in Ontario and you spent some time in
in
Ottawa.
Ottawa, that's
Toronto.
that's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I read that comma wrong.
yeah, no, it's an incredible city. I've been there 3 times, and
Good
it
one.
was really great for my career and for my music. But I do find that like it was kind of that was the thing. Like you go there to write the song that a big artist is going to pick up and to make your name and to like stay there. But to just go for trips, I found after a while I'd write with people down there.
Yeah.
But then I found like I come back to Canada and like I still write with a couple people I know down there, which is nice. And actually a song just got taken by a publisher recently, which I'm really pumped about. So that could end up in the hands of a bigger artist, but because I wrote it with a Nashville guy.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more like playing the lottery, especially if you're not living there. So I found when I came home and then the pandemic hit, I was like, why don't I just focus on what we have here? Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit underrated. And we're also close to Toronto. So like, to me, I've decided to focus more on that. So I do miss Nashville, but I figured instead of blowing thousands going there to try and win the lottery, I could like release stuff here with my own Canadian music kind of collaborators and build the scene here. And it may not like make millions because of it, because you're not in the major label scene of Nashville, but it could be more fulfilling in a way because people will actually hear your song.
Yeah.
Now, the stuff I was trying to pitch down there, people might never even hear it because it's just going to sit on a shelf.
Yeah. Now,
So-
in a way, is it like when you go to Nashville, just to highlight how I'm assuming how damn competitive it is, like, is it almost sad when you're there and then, like, because you're employed, you know, you have a day job and you're well-rounded and all that, and you go there, the stress probably isn't there like many. Like, you must see dozens of artists with skill fighting and trying, and they're all 99.9% of them are heading back home with nothing, right?
Yeah, it's well, it's kind of a mixture of emotions
Yeah.
because it's exactly that. Like, I'd say like half the people that live there are songwriters.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
waitress you have, every
Yeah.
bartender you have, they're there for songwriting.
Cool.
And they're just working.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a beautiful thing, and it's almost like the energy I feel when I go there is amazing because like you can just write with anybody and we're all there for the same reason. But on the flip side, you just realize, holy crap, like this is a lottery. Like it truly,
Yeah.
and like
Depressing.
you have to almost give up everything to write enough to
Yeah.
get it in the right room. And they call it the nickname for Nashville is a 10-year town. So like, how willing are you to give up 10 years, 5 to 10 years, and grind the pavement
Yeah.
until a song ends up in the right room? Some people love it that much
Yeah.
that they can do it. Some people love hockey enough that they can do 3 hours of wrist shots a day.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of having a childhood, you did wrist shots and skating all day.
Yeah.
Right? And that like everyone has, some people have that personality and some people don't. For me, I still love playing my beer league basketball and hockey at night. I still love to do a trip. And so selfishly, like, can I do that and still like grind you know enough to do that and give up my family, being Canadian, go down to America? Like, I have a friend who tried to make it down there and he got stopped at the border. They don't even want us going there right now.
Right.
Like, even if you're going for music, they don't want you going.
Oh,
there.
no kidding.
They do not want you. Like, so like they already got thousands of people
Yeah.
there doing it.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things
They
where
also have hundreds of thousands of people coming across their southern border.
Yeah, that's a different.
yeah, different.
That's a different kind of
They're
music.
all there.
That's what surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever been to Nashville once, but that's one thing that just shocked me is like you're walking down the street, bar
Yeah.
after bar after bar. Every single place has a band or a solo artist playing,
yeah.
and everybody sounds fantastic.
They,
Oh, yeah.
they sound
Yeah,
great.
it's amazing.
Like
It's incredible.
technically,
Yeah.
any of these people,
Oh.
if they were in the right room or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
totally.
Like you
Yeah.
get caught by an audience, they could be stars. It's
Absolutely.
it's shocking.
That's
like
the magic of the city for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was playing on a stage in a place called the Commodore. I got off the stage and the guy who went on right after me wrote one of the biggest hits for Rascal Flatts.
No.
Wow.
And I
way.
just played on the same stage you just walked. That's the type of city it is.
That's cool.
So I guess what I'd say, it is a bit kind of depressing on one side
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
but on the flip side, the way I used these trips was when I got home after them, I was like,
Inspired.
I need to be better.
Yeah.
Like, even if you think you're the best, you always need to be better.
Yeah.
You can never be good enough. If you're sitting at home on the couch watching a hockey game,
Yeah.
that other person there is writing a song.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of maybe not the healthiest way to think because it makes you into like a workaholic in a way, but like that's how people down there are thinking. They're like, every second I could be networking or doing something.
But it's
And
a
so
music
it helps me.
machine there. Like,
Oh yeah, it is for sure.
I saw an interview with Zach Brown from the Zach Brown Band.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about his big song Chicken Fried.
Yeah.
And,
that went
and
big.
he wrote that, and somebody at a studio somewhere got a hold of it, and they were gonna give it away or sign it to another band, and he actually like fought back and said like, the heck with you guys, it's my song, I actually want to record it for myself and keep it for myself. So he was a success story in that. But you can easily kind of be at the bottom of that machine and never get anywhere.
Totally. That song may have sat on the shelf for 5 years if you didn't do that.
Wow.
As good as it is.
Yeah.
Because like, it has to speak to another artist perfectly, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, every artist down there now can write their own songs too. So why would they take mine if they can write their own? It has to be that much more special.
Yeah.
So I thought, man, even if good songs are sitting on shelves, I might as well try and release it myself. So I kind of used the pandemic to work on my voice a bit more because I hadn't really sung in a while, and I took some lessons and I just started building up my experience again so that I could start to finally release my stuff, which is why my first song didn't release till 2020, because like I had been writing songs through the whole decade, but it took me till 2020 to decide, okay, I'm going to release this with my own voice now instead of just like praying someone will take it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the journey I had, but not the Nashville trips kind of pushed me towards that journey in a way. Like they didn't have the success I would have loved, obviously, but every failure helps, in your journey. So
I'm
that's kind of
really
what it did for me.
curious. I'm really curious about the So we were talking about the song Going Nowhere. So you play multiple instruments, but I'm curious about the whole process. So obviously you're writing the lyrics, you're writing the music, and then all of a sudden you go into a studio and you layer everything together, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how does that whole process work?
Yeah, and especially for that one, I really loved it because that guitar riff that the song opens with, I wrote that when I woke up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. And I just had that riff in my head. I was like, I hear it in my head. Can I do it on a guitar, or am I just like kind of dreaming? Sometimes you think you're like you're better than you are in your dreams. So I was like, is this actually good, or am I just
DDT every day?
DDT in a nutshell.
Thanks.
It's a common feeling. But sometimes, like, I'm like, was this actually a good riff, or did I just dream it and then it's not in reality anything? So I actually just went downstairs and said, let's actually try it. And it worked out. I thought, oh, this is actually kind of cool. So then from there, I recorded it on my phone and then went to bed. When I woke up, I looked for some lyric ideas I had. Like I always jot down stuff in my little book. And I found that Going Nowhere line, and I said, let me just keep singing that line over this guitar riff. And that's how it organically built up. And then I thought, oh, that Going Nowhere line can be flipped, right? Like with the dual meaning we were talking about. And so then I wrote down the two meanings on a piece of paper and tried to kind of construct both meanings around that Going Nowhere hook, kind of like how you do like an outline in English class.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just started singing it over and over that riff, and then the layers built. So then once I wrote the whole song, that's where I called my friend Corey, who plays banjo, and I said, can you do a banjo idea over this? And he sent that to me, and we just kind of built it up from there. The fiddle was the last piece. We weren't sure if we were even going to do it or not. And then I said, you know what? Like, I want the banjo and the fiddle to kind of duel and intertwine.
Because you got harmonies in there and everything. Like, are you doing that as well? Or
yeah. All the harmonies I do. There's only one song where I've got someone else to sing with me, and that's my Seaside Serenade song. There's a female singer on it. Okay. Sam. But aside from that, I'll just do my own harmonies because in the studio, you do everything one at a time anyway, for the most part. Yeah. Zach Brown actually doesn't. Most of their songs, especially in the old days, were live off the floor in many ways, where they got that organic group sound. That's why they have that like really old school, rootsy, really comforting feel. Whereas like most people nowadays in the studio, just one after another, one track at a time. So it's a little bit more perfection and not computerized, but it has more of that polish to it.
Auto-tune.
So and then you could add that on too. So that's what's going on there. But.
So let me ask you then, you mentioned the fiddle. What is the difference between the violin and a fiddle?
Well, I'm sure my friend Victoria, who plays it, can go on and on about it more than me. But it seems like the fiddle is more of that like folk instrument for those sorts of genres, and the violin is like a formal classical.
Like
type of
they actually
It's the same
different,
instrument.
It's the
same instrument.
Same
It's just
instrument.
It's the same
play it
instrument.
different ways, I
Play it
guess.
differently.
Play it totally
Okay.
different. In a way that
So you
like,
could-
sorry?
So you could play a Stradivarius as a
what?
fiddle. Stradivarius.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've heard that once in your life.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
I've
oh,
been
it's,
waiting to
I
use
wanted
it.
to
it's a
use that
famous
line.
violin. You've been waiting.
Yeah.
You've been waiting 53 years for
Stradivarius.
this moment.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess so. I'm not sure if like there's certain brands that like feed towards that genre more than
Yeah.
others.
I'm gonna play this $1 million Stradivarius
Nice.
on this country as
Oh,
a
there you
fiddle.
go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you another.
The
To go back
devil
to
went
that,
down to Georgia on
Yeah.
a Stradivarius.
that song is
and
always funny.
smash it at the end.
That's a crazy fiddle song. It always bugs me.
That's a great
Sometimes
tune.
it's a bit out of tune. Sometimes
Yeah.
but then again,
On purpose almost.
they
though.
almost
Yeah.
like just didn't fix because that's the
Yeah.
thing about this genre is that they kind of welcome that.
Yeah.
But to use Zach Brown as an example again, like a lot of his guitar riffs he plays in
Yeah.
the country genre, that's a nylon string guitar, which is used in classical music.
Yeah.
So like, just depends on how you play something.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So let's go back a little bit. You went from heavy metal, all of a sudden in Megadeth, Metallica,
Poison.
That's not heavy metal.
Oh, never mind.
Jeez.
That Poison wasn't heavy enough for us.
No, exactly.
I like
Lamb
some
of
of their songs.
God.
Talk dirty
Yeah.
to me.
You went on
Every rose has its thorn.
The only band you know for hard rock is
I love
Poison.
Poison.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on.
Poison's
moving on.
awesome. Yeah.
Jesus.
Thank you, Jake.
They're like
Back
the
in the
boy
day.
band of hard rock
They were
music.
the best.
You know? Yeah.
I still follow them on Twitter.
Oh God.
Maybe
That just-
maybe the
that
dad
just killed the
bods could
whole-
That just killed the whole vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
the
boy.
dad bods can open for them.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
So what made you
Um,
switch from heavy
yeah.
metal to country or
Oh,
folk music?
I guess.
Yeah.
There was a bit of time where I balanced both, but there's a lot of factors that made me switch. I guess the band just broke up. We kept on losing vocalists, and it got to like I tried doing the screamo for a while over it myself,
What's it called again? Screamo?
like the screamo kind of
The
growling.
heavy
yeah.
metal. Yeah.
So were you the singer for the heavy metal band?
At times,
the screamer.
Okay.
At times, basically, I kicked out one of our vocalists right before we were going to Toronto to record.
Yeah.
Which was probably not the best idea, but like we couldn't take him anymore. And so I went and I tried to do the vocals myself, and I didn't
Oh.
realize I was coming down with mono.
Oh.
That
Oh.
weekend I was in the studio,
Oh.
and I tried to scream, and something just felt wrong. And ever since then, I just vowed I would like I'd never been so sick in my life, and
Wow.
I said I'm never gonna do this again. And so my voice took its toll on my voice. I had to do coaching and lessons for years to get it back. So I said I'm never gonna do this again. So we did get one more vocalist to do it for like 3 years after that, and then again like we just could, like I said before, like we couldn't sustain it being adults and doing a style that like we couldn't sell tickets for. And so we broke up, but I always loved country and folk and stuff. And like a lot of the songs I was writing was just me and an acoustic guitar. So I said, well, why don't I just do this? I can do it on my own. I don't have to count on anybody else. I can just write. But I never did anything with those songs. I never released anything. And
Too embarrassed at the time to release?
well, yeah, there was a little bit of metal shame.
Too shocking to your followers.
Yeah. Can we do the slow song on the
Yeah.
metal album?
Especially considering my first gig, I wore that cowboy hat I mentioned. Like the scene, it just looked wrong. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna take a more of a break, focus on my other job and stuff like that. But then I met some people in the Ottawa community who were going to Nashville, and I kind of was like, wow, I always wanted to do this, and I gave up on this. Now I meet people in Ottawa that have done it. And then I started thinking to myself, like, well, why not me? Like, why can't I do this? So then I finally started writing at a bit more of like a professional level. Like I was co-writing with talented people. Then I started going down there, and that's where I was like, yeah, I found my home in country. Like, I love this sound. I love banjos. I love fiddles.
Well, this
I miss the heavy stuff. I miss the mosh pits. But I was like, you know what? This makes my heart happy right now. So I decided to go
That's
with
cool.
it.
I have a hard time, like, after hearing your songs, you seem to have the voice, like, you seem to have a country voice or more kind of a fun, upbeat kind of voice, and not a
heavy
Screamo.
metal
not a
mentality.
Metallica
Not
kind of
a
screamy. You don't have
screamo.
that, like, growly, grouchy
That's
voice.
almost shocking that you were
It
the
is.
black leather face
I have a
paint.
hard
With a
time
cowboy hat.
picturing
Yeah.
you singing Master of Puppets or
Yeah.
something like
There's
Me
that.
too.
actually there's video evidence of us covering Master of Puppets
Like-
at 2 Ottawa venues when I was in high school.
Nice.
Wow.
Were you singing at the time?
Oh yeah, oh
okay.
yeah. But
all
the
right.
thing is, so I actually
Screaming.
used to be criticized in high school for sounding too much like James Hetfield. Like they called me a James Hetfield copy.
Really?
That's how I used used to sing.
Really?
I used to sing exactly like him with that grit.
Huh.
And
Really?
I think that's what kind of led me to having to give it up. I blew it out.
Because
too
you were
much.
forcing it kind of thing
yeah.
almost.
When I watch old videos of myself doing that, I'm like, my vocal coach would cringe
hurts.
watching this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
truly cringe. Like there's guys who do it properly. They use their diaphragm better. I was using like all throats.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching my high school self do this and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was I doing? So like it sounded cool at the time, but I paid for it for many, many years. So yeah, now I strictly like avoid that grit like completely. I do not go near it.
Yeah.
But
So-
I do miss those times.
Yeah, that's very cool. So yeah, that's a big switch for sure. It's like 180 degrees or 90 degrees. What would that be?
Math
180
is
degrees?
still not your strong
No,
point.
it's still not.
180.
180. There
Yeah,
you go. Changing
180.
180. And if you went 90, maybe do a
Come
a
back
mix
to
of
it. Yeah.
like Metallica and country. You know.
Well, that's the thing. There are country artists who do that, like
Yeah.
Jason Aldean, Brantley Gilbert, like even Luke Combs. They have that heaviness to it. They
Yeah.
have the grit. And the thing is, for me, I like those guys.
Yeah.
But for me, I always wanted my own songs to be that complete opposite. Like I had my metal life. I still enjoy that. I still go to shows. I still play the guitar in that way with friends. But like I don't want my country stuff to be anywhere near that. So that's
Yeah.
why I flipped to like full out banjo, full out fiddle, like full out like I have a lot of softer songs because like I just like to separate the two worlds. Like when I hear country, I don't need to hear that like heavy voice and heavy guitars
No.
because like that's what I listen to metal for.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for me, I actually love the more like softer, bluegrassy, folksy stuff as a complete like break from the heaviness.
Cool.
Have like those two worlds.
Yeah.
Good. I want to know though as well, Dan. Do you have any nicknames? Like, do you have like
Disco Dan?
Disco Dan,
Dan the
Dano,
Yeah,
Dan
the only one that's stuck over many
Big
many
Dan.
years
Yeah.
is Danimal.
Danimal.
Yeah. Danimal.
That's why I named my indie label Danimal Records because I was like, people used to call me that in university, and then I
Danimal.
kind of like took it and ran with it probably more than people intended.
Right.
I used it probably more than everyone else
So
used
are
it.
there stories behind Danimal? Because
I
to me,
like
it
that.
sounds like
Yeah.
there's stories
You didn't
behind
think you'd
Danimal.
get anything out of that
No,
question.
I didn't.
I mean, not really, except for the fact that like, you know, back in the day, like you would, well, actually people still do this, but you'd make like a Facebook event page for stuff. Like, so like every year I'd have like a big party at my house and I'd always call it like Danimal Party. So I'd like Danimal Party Part 1, Danimal Party Part 2. And I just like infuse it into my, that's why I
nice.
would wear the cowboy hat at the parties. I'm like Danimal's Unleashing and, you know, for the crazy earlier years. It's been a while since I've brought the Danimal out.
Oh, it sounds like you gotta
Frank.
bring the animal back.
So
But the old days,
Danimal was
that's
like
a-
Frank the Tank a little
Yeah,
bit
let's
there.
bring Danimal back.
Yeah, the old days were fun.
Hashtag let's bring Danimal back. Get that on
Oh God, yeah.
Danimal.
trending on Twitter.
Hashtag dead Danimal.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, when Facebook does those like memories every year,
Yeah.
sometimes like a few of those old photos come in. I'm like, oh God,
yeah.
Classic. I love it.
like on the ground in a bus stop and you just see the cowboy hat kind of off my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, who is this guy?
So the other thing I noticed on your website as well, I actually went there, guys.
Oh, you did?
check it out.
Oh,
Did
thank you.
some research.
Yeah,
you
you're
can,
welcome.
you know what a
Yeah.
website is?
Yeah.
Cool.
But I noticed the photos, the really nice, really
Yeah.
well done photos.
Thank
but
you.
there's two vehicles that you use in the photo. One's an old Dodge and it looked like a van,
Yeah.
like almost like a VW. What can you tell us what
Expand on
those?
that.
I know
Yeah.
one's a Dodge, but what kind of Dodge is it?
Man,
You remember?
So I'll tell you, it was a while ago. I'll tell
Yeah.
you the story of the day.
Yeah.
That's where I filmed my first music video for my song "My Kind of Road," and it was actually, I don't know if you guys have been here. It's a beautiful spot. So like just up Dun Robin,
Yeah.
and where Penny's Point is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I always loved that area. So I said, let's take some photography here. Let's do our music video. And we were there, and one of the neighbors, the guy who lives closest to like the historic site, saw us doing all these like interesting things. So he came out and he's like, yeah, like I got a bunch of like old vintage cars. Like if you want to take photos here.
Nice.
And so he said, hell yeah, like let's do
cool.
this. So
Yeah.
we just like did a tour around his yard. He had like probably 7 or 8 of those, like
nice.
unbelievable.
Nice.
And he just like gave us full reign of his yard.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we found old Dodges. My buddy went in front of the Ford, so I didn't have one in front of the Ford. But he had this
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah, I can
light
picture
blue
that.
Ford
That's right
pickup
beside
truck.
Penny's Point.
And then we had a few other ones. Man, I don't remember. It was kind of a blur.
Do you
'cause
remember
I'm-
what the van was? Because it looked like a
yeah.
VW.
Unfortunately, I don't remember the
Yeah.
van. It was so hot that day,
Oh.
and it was such a blur. And I get nervous with photography, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't like getting pictures of myself
I
taken.
don't like the spotlight.
Yeah, not really. So like, so I was so like concerned with like smiling properly or like you
Yeah.
know looking the right way, and so I actually don't really remember much about the day. But I do remember it was like a really cool experience. Yeah, I don't remember that van. It was super retro. Like,
Okay, yeah,
it was incredible. Yeah, to have that shot for sure.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I noticed that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Those photos were
Great photos.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the logo on your website? Like you have your Dan Petti logo.
Yeah, the logo was worked on by my brother's girlfriend, Chelsea, and also my marketing team, Boda Creative Communications. And but I thought of the initial thing. So I was like, let's use like the D and the P. But then I realized that it could look kind of like the sound hole of a guitar. And so you just do like the outline of the guitar, and then you still have the DP inside. So I gave that my idea to both of them, and they kind of ran with it. And then, yeah, that's what we did with it. But yeah, I've always kind of liked it. I do find it's funny. Like, I thought that people would see the initials in it more clearly, but there's still a lot of people to this day when I say that, they're like, oh, I've never even noticed that it's the D and the P. So maybe
JB is laughing because he didn't notice it either.
I had that revelation as you were talking
there you
about it.
go.
I'm like, oh, there it is.
So that could be cool or that could be troubling. Like, I think like if
That's kinda cool,
if I
actually,
do
I
like tweak in the future, I'll make sure maybe like the D and the P like pop a bit more. But at the same time, it's a discussion kind of
It
talking
is,
point.
exactly,
So
yeah.
It's really
absolutely.
cool, actually. Yeah, really nice.
And I want to see the thing with me is I'm not like a recording vocalist artist in a sense. Like the guitar is always like the first primary like focal point for me. Every song I write, I may start with like a lyric idea, but I always have the guitar prevalent in it. It's like, that's my thing. I'm a guitar player first before anything else. So I thought if I use like the guitar in my branding, people know what I'm all about and stuff. So I really wanted that to be included in my logo in some way.
So 2 questions. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you during a show, and what's the funniest thing you've ever seen in the crowd at a show?
Ooh, so there's a lot of funny moments of me playing. When I was younger, like I'm a mover on stage. Like I'll like literally jump in the air and just go across the stage. So like usually we'd end up like bumping into each other and stuff, especially in the metal days. But even now with country, and like we used to play in this place called
That's called moshing.
yeah, exactly, moshing on stage. And we used to play in a place called the New Bayou, which is now where House of Targ is.
Yep.
Really awesome place. But the stage used to be underneath the lowest part of the basement.
Yeah.
And now they moved it, which is good. So I would always go nuts and like throw the guitar around. But like there was one song where we went crazy and I threw my very expensive guitar up and it smashed into the ceiling.
Oh.
And then later in the same song, I jumped and hit my head on the ceiling. And like I felt like fairly concussed, but like you had to just like you had to kind of just continue to play.
It's like a hockey player.
Yeah,
Shake
show
it off.
must,
Get back out there.
show has to go on.
Yeah.
So that happened multiple times at New Bayou, which is always a thing. And then
They still have shows there, right? At
Oh,
House
yeah.
of Targ
Oh, House
now,
of
yeah.
Targ has
But
great shows.
But it's pretty heavy stuff there, I think.
well,
Isn't it?
they
Or
might
punk?
do some punk and some indie kind of ska stuff and a little bit of everything.
You guys ever been there?
No.
Really cool place. Yeah.
Awesome pierogies, great video games.
Yeah, they got like all the
Video games?
Good
the
music.
pinball setups and video games
yeah?
and
Yeah.
old
I've
school
heard of
like
it, but I-
Pac-Man and
Targ was a video game, I think.
Huh.
If I remember
so.
correctly, it's an old
Yeah.
video game.
Yeah,
Anyway,
highly recommend to play. Like great music, like you said, great pierogies, and
Yeah.
then like if you love like the old school games. And then something else, like when I was younger, again, same kind of time period, I'd be jumping around and like I'd have like the biggest solo coming up. I'd jump before it and step on my cable. Cable goes away. So then I just had to fake the solo. It's either pick up the cable and look like an idiot
Yeah.
or fake the solo and blame the sound guy. So
that's funny.
So I choose
Nobody
that.
could hear the solo.
Oh, God.
So you faked the solo.
Fake the solo. I've had like amp fuses blow right in like main parts of a song too, and you just gotta fake it and stuff. So yeah, lots of kind of unfortunate things like that.
What's the worst place?
show
you've
must
played?
go on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
What's the worst place you've played at?
Probably the place where this amp blew out.
Okay.
I think that the electricity. It was. I think it was in Almont or I don't know. It was some like Legion or old bar out there. And I think like the electricity was a bit faulty and like it just blew the amp really badly. So that wasn't the greatest. And
Did the
yeah, we
show
played
end
in-
at that point? Because you can't.
No,
did you
I
have
think
another
some
tube?
some
Show
other
must go on.
The show must go on.
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. Some other guy from like the earlier set came and brought me his amp or something like
Okay,
that.
okay,
But
cool.
I'm trying to think. There must have been some other pretty like dingy places, to be honest. But I don't know. I find almost like the dingy places have like a character. So I
Yeah.
can say like worst place ever, but in a way it's
Still
kind of
fun.
like
The best
awesome
place ever as well, yeah.
exactly. So I'd say like nothing that was like a bad memory. Everything ends up being like a good memory in some way.
Cool. So what are What? You were going to say something, Duff?
So
No, I was just gonna say, well, like, so where do we go from here? What are your summer plans? Is it more live shows or more music making? Like, what's next?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been kind of on like a small little break, so I'm like itching to get back. I have some plans to make some demo. I'm still doing the pitching and stuff of songs, so I'm going to make a few demos for that because I got a few leads and looking forward to that. And then I'm still recording the EP I'm trying to finish. So the song Going Nowhere is the first song from this EP.
Yeah.
So there's 4 other songs that will go on it. And I hope to release that in the summer. And then, yeah, I'd like to get some shows coming back. I'm probably going to wait probably till later spring to start playing shows again.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I've been off for a long time and I need to get my voice back. And
Sure.
I like to take it seriously. But, like last summer was like my best gigging summer of my life. So I'm
Nice.
hoping to kind of bring that back and, have some new music for sure. The EP should be done by the summer. And I'm just itching to get back in the studio with Eric and get going again for sure. So
you were saying on the website it says that you play solo shows, but you also play with your band. So you have have like a set band that you typically play with?
kind of set. Like my brother is my drummer, and I have 2 other friends that jump in when he can't. And then I have my mandolin banjo player, who's my friend Corey. And then fiddle player is Victoria, all the people you saw in that music video I was telling you about. And then really right now I'm working on like a bass and backup guitar, because for me, like, I always like to keep it intimate, but sometimes you just need to have a full band to get the sound you want.
I can play bass for you.
There you go. I'm always looking for bass players. I have quite a few that I know, but like, you know, I haven't ever had like a set group in that way. Like I have my go-to people, but because a lot of, like you said, a lot of the shows I play are solo, it's not worth having that consistent band all the time. But because like I'm starting to gig a lot more, hope to again this summer. I'm planning on actually having like a set group. But one person I've always counted on is my brother. He's been playing with me since like my metal band started when I was in grade 10, and he's 3 years younger than me. So this guy was gigging all the bars of Ottawa. We were gigging on bars in high school.
That's
He was
like a
gigging all the-
10-year-old.
He was in grade 8.
He was in grade 6 or 7
On
and
drums.
He's drumming with us in bars. So
That's
so
cool.
he's always been by my side doing that. So
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a lot of fun.
So so in the metal days, your brother was jamming. Now he moved over to the country.
he's been
side
with
of
me with
things.
metal
Yeah.
and country. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. My brother and I used to have a little band back in the day, as well. Called the Brothers Grimm. We were more of a punk band.
What did he play?
In the Ramones style.
Oh,
He
why
sang.
am I not
he sang.
surprised?
He
Yeah.
sang.
There
He
you go.
sang. Yeah.
You know, it's really valuable to be in a, like, that's why you see so many siblings in groups, I find. Because it's like the only, like, you can be honest with friends, but like siblings, it's a whole other level, right?
Yeah.
So like, even
They'll
though we
keep
have
you
all
honest.
we've had a lot of arguments in the practice room, but they're like very beneficial because we truthfully got to the truth of what we needed to do. There was no sugarcoating or anything like that. So I do find it's like super beneficial. So
Then you
that's
can
why I've
fist
always
fight.
wanted them.
Fist fight.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Not with the expensive equipment around.
No,
but-
no. Like that. My dad used to make us put on the gloves, the boxing gloves.
Oh yeah. Well, most of our fights happened on the road hockey
There you go.
playing area,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Good. Well, Danimal. Petty.
Danimal.
Yeah.
So did you want to get to your list there, Duff? Is there
Thanks
anything
for-
Yeah, let's go to your
pressing in
list.
there?
Yeah, I think we're.
You had some good ideas there.
It's almost getting on time.
Ah, we got a few minutes.
If we have, we want to take Dan off track here on a few things. You're a sports fan.
Love sports.
You've mentioned hockey a few times.
Oh yeah.
We have not talked about our beloved Jays yet. You excited for the year?
I am very excited.
You excited about the renovations at Rogers Center?
I am.
Shouldn't you be
Are you
more
even
excited
aware?
about
Are
the
you
team?
even aware of the renovations
Yeah,
at Rogers
that's
Center?
a top of his list of excitement.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Forget the team.
I don't know the
I
details.
want the renovations.
Yeah.
I know that it's been a long time coming. I don't know if there's people who want to totally abandon like,
Yeah.
the Sky Dome location. I've been to games there. The thing is, when it's packed,
Yeah.
it is unbelievable.
It's fantastic.
And
It's
in
an
Canada,
epic
you have to
location.
have
Yeah.
the roof in Canada. What are you going to
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
But at the same time, when it's half empty, it can really be a drag.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. Maybe you make it 40,000.
Well, what
add
they've
some
done,
grass.
they've done just that. So even from an entertainment standpoint, there are so many little mini venues now around the what do you call it, Esplanade or whatever.
The
It's
concourse?
a nice spot.
Yeah, the
Lot of
concourse
restaurant.
level
Yeah.
where you can just mingle.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen lots of little live music setups around there now. And
Have you ever stayed in the hotel?
no,
No.
that doesn't really. interest me.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah?
You been there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've only I didn't stay, like there was no game or concert or anything
Okay.
like that, but you can go out onto the balcony of your
and see the
hotel
field.
room,
Yeah.
and you're looking out onto the field.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
I have watched a Red Blacks game from the condos that are in that end zone.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty cool. I mean, that was a good view.
Well, that's a
I don't
good
know
view.
if I'd splurge to live in a place like
no,
that, but
no.
DDT's paying me back for all the insults with some slurping every time I talk.
So juvenile. We're having such a fun professional cast
I
that
know.
he's just got to drop it down, eh?
So what do you think of the Sens, man? They're on a little bit of a run there. 3 whole games in a row.
Oh, we're not
Amazing.
supposed to talk hockey, but maybe Dan will boost that level of hockey talk up.
I don't know. I probably just know it as a fan, just like you guys.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I guess I'd say like I hate to say keep losing for a pick because that's what we've been doing for 5 or 6
no.
years, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like at this point you already made the trades for the guys.
Yeah.
Like
Let's
if
go.
you get a good first round or even in the 20s or the 15s, like we take it and you just
Yeah.
keep building, right? Like
Well-
you're not going to try and get a top 1 or 2.
No.
It is what it is. Like if you truly cared about that in a year like this year, you wouldn't have traded the 7th last year. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
they haven't
um,
addressed the defense. Is
yeah,
the biggest issue.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing they got to keep
I was
doing.
surprised at how good the defense was last night.
Well, they're playing with Montreal.
Forsberg played really well,
Yeah.
but having said that, like
The Habs hit the post 3 times.
the D were usually there to clear the puck or clean it up.
And
Like,
you know how Shabbat has always been seen as this reincarnation of Bobby Orr? Friggin'
Yeah.
Sanderson is lights
Oh
out.
my God,
He was
Sanderson's
awesome.
Don't you
good,
think
eh?
he's better than Shabbat already?
Right now he is.
He's
right?
fantastic.
I think Shabbat's a little bit burnt out.
I think he's a
Yeah,
little
they
bit
were
better.
wore
Playing
him down
30
for
minutes
years. Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
for the last few years.
Yeah, like they did to
well,
Carlson.
But he's actually
you can't play that many
No.
minutes.
he's
No.
actually looking better recently.
yeah,
Shabbat.
because
He played well last
Sanderson might
night.
take
He
the
did.
heat off him a bit now.
Yeah, Sanderson has been really,
Yeah.
really good. I mean, rookie season, you know.
Yeah.
You never know what'll happen in the sophomore year.
You
but-
never know.
Oh,
a
they're
lot of the
super
things
fun.
that they need help with are things that you can teach, in my opinion. So I just hope that maybe they get if JBD gets more consistent, or they get one more pickup, and then they keep teaching it well. I don't know if
Yeah.
it needs
They're
to be
so
a different
young.
coach or not,
Yeah.
but yeah, just keep teaching it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's all they really need. I'm not sure. Like they could use like maybe the thing that even like something like losing Formatin was kind of
Oh, that's
a bit unfortunate because
Yeah.
like you're talking about depth.
Yeah.
Norris goes down, people
Norris.
go down. Like you need someone like that can kind of play in different roles
Yeah.
to step in. They lose that. Now they're a 2-line team truly. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
truly suffer when you're like
Hopefully
that.
he's
Yeah.
back next year. I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
it's all to do with that.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Whatever happened to the juniors there, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But hopefully he's back next year. He's a speedy guy too, right? Like
Yep. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
makes a difference, especially on the PK where
Yeah.
you can get those shorthanded chances.
What do you think about Joseph?
Who?
You see Joseph?
Matthew Joseph?
No.
Curtis Joseph?
No.
Curtis Joseph?
Ottawa.
Joseph, Mary, and
I
Matthew.
Jesus.
forget what his
Matthew
first
Joseph.
name.
Matthew,
Is it
yeah,
Matthew?
Matthew.
Yeah.
Matthew.
You see the bank shot last night for the empty
Yeah,
netter?
that was
Yeah.
nice actually. That was
Yeah.
good.
That was actually quite impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
It looks
Yeah.
like it was calculated.
He
Like
actually has looked better on that first line than he
Yeah.
has when he's played lower in the lineup.
Well, sometimes players like that need to be with like other skilled players,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It kind of brings that out of them.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know if he's a permanent fixture on
Yeah.
that. But what are you going to do?
not
All
sure.
I can
Yeah.
say is it's nice to see Ottawa beat the 2 close teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Montreal and Toronto go
Back
down,
to back.
especially at home when all those Canadians
Oh,
fans
God.
paid for
Oh.
tickets and
Jeez.
taking up
Yeah.
half the
Yeah.
half
That's
the
bad,
Scotiabank place.
It's like the Leafs, the same thing.
Same thing.
It's unpleasant. I've been to games for both, and it's
Yeah, I don't like
unbelievable.
going.
I
Yeah.
think if it gets to a point where the team is better, it'll be a bit more even. Like I was watching
Yeah.
an old highlight of the old Battle of Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
And the Sens scored, and it was like a lot of
Yeah.
Sens fans there. And I started thinking like, okay, I feel like it's just you let the Leaf fans take over if you feel like you're getting pounded and you don't want to hang around.
Yeah.
Gets
But
worse,
if your
yeah.
team is okay,
Yeah.
I feel like it might even out more in the arena because I don't know. I would say there's probably more Sens fans that exist now than 20 years ago.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
maybe they're just like not really going. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. That like it happens in baseball too. Like when the Jays play in Seattle,
Yeah.
like those
Oh, yeah,
Seattle
there's a lot
fans
of-
must
Yeah.
hate Canadians so much.
And Minnesota.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Detroit
So-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I was even watching the Leafs
Buffalo.
play like Winnipeg, to be honest. And the Leafs fans, even in Winnipeg,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
So-
Buffalo apparently as well.
Oh,
Buffalo
God,
has
yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
Leafs fans.
So it's not just Ottawa. Ottawa kind of ends up being made fun of for that, but I
Yeah.
feel like it happens a lot all over
That's
as well.
true.
Sure.
Yeah. That's good.
Actually, I was talking with a guy last night who said his grandfather was a goalie for the Sens. Back in like
the
20s and
original
30s.
Sens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. So
Was that Frank Finnegan?
no, there's the other guy. Last name starts with a B. Should have remembered the name if I was going to make that comment, but anyway. But it was kind of cool.
That's okay. That's
fine.
par for the show.
That's how we do things.
That's how we do things
Yeah.
here. Yeah. That's par for the show.
JB, if he's in a good mood, he'll Google it quickly and have an answer.
Yeah,
but
Yeah, I think this would be a tough one to Google. I think. But
Who's the goalie that played for the
Senators,
Sens? Starts with
yeah.
a B.
is this a fact check moment? No, it's just
No,
more of a
no,
general
no.
research.
Yeah.
No. That's good.
Okay.
Well, Danimal, thank you so much for dropping by our
Thank
little
you.
studio here at Scotty's Corner Diner.
I appreciate it.
great. Yeah.
It was really good chatting with you. That was fun.
Yeah.
Great chatting with you guys too. I've
Brought
loved the
up the level.
podcast.
So
I've
Dan-
enjoyed listening to you guys. So thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Dan Petti, Petti, on Spotify, iTunes. What's your
Yeah.
website?
You can find it anywhere. The website is www.danpetti.com. So nice and simple.
and Dan
I'm not,
Petti YouTube.
Yeah. You can type in
YouTube.
Dan Petti
Yeah,
on
yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
for all the music videos. I'm not Tom Petty's nephew, as much as I wish I was, but
We were joking about that actually. I was texting last night because DDT was saying, "Oh, Dan's coming on tomorrow," and I'm like, and then it's like, "Oh, it's going to be Dan Petti and the CCC Heartbreakers."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
well, you know what's funny?
I-
I was playing curling yesterday at a curling tournament, and my team's name was Petty and the Hackbreakers.
Hackbreaker.
See?
Half the people didn't get it, but I'm like, for the people that get it, they'll
I
get it.
get
So
it.
I got your back, man. I got it. I
I
got
stand
it.
by that name.
We got
Yeah,
it. We got it.
I got your back. That's
we got it.
awesome.
Well, you just, like we said, you brought up the level of the podcast. Maybe a little too high.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
I
So-
just want to wish you good luck, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a
Appreciate
lot of
it.
fun. Your music is just so enjoyable,
Yeah.
and I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you. No, I really
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thanks for the
absolutely.
support, guys. And keep doing this great podcast. I enjoy it.
I'm looking forward
Really
to a
appreciate
show. If my wife can drag me to Sudbury to watch a country concert, I think we can get her out to something here in town.
I would
Oh,
go.
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Definitely
Let
near
us
the
know.
summer. I'll let you know. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Good. So, guys, what do you say? Is that the cast for
I think
today?
that is Cop.
Car.
Coffee.
My feet were stuck in mud, sinking past my knees. Been blinded by the sun and carried by the breeze. I've been lost, found, reckless and abused. In circles going round and round, but somehow it led to you. I had a hard head and a broken heart, but you took me in your loving arms. My favorite place is where you are, and I promise I won't leave. It was a long way through the pouring rain, every day was a dead end. I know I made some big mistakes, but I never will again. When I saw your face, all of my pain just faded while I stared. You could have run, you knew I once was a guy going nowhere. But girl, this I swear, now I ain't going nowhere. You're the map I never had, guiding me along. I don't need a different path, I'm right where I belong. Every finger fits just right when you put your hand in mine. And I see forever when I look into your eyes. I got a clear head and a healing heart. With every day you're in my arms. It was a long way through the pouring rain. Every day was a dead end. I know I made some big mistakes, but I never will again. When I saw your face, all of my pain just faded.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
good.
I'm exhausted.
We forgot to talk about the snowstorm.
There's no need to.
Yet another snowstorm.
I'm sure there'll be another one to talk
Yeah,
about.
we didn't need
Unfortunately.
anything. We didn't need anything other
Thanks,
than
Dan.
that.
You were
Hey,
awesome,
well,
man.
thank you,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was
Hope
great.
that went well, but yeah, no,
Went
it's
great.
great.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.